The West Coast Avengers return to Marvel and Spider-Man is granted 8 extra lives from Doctor Doom? Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, if you love me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, guys, you came to the right place. Consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, guys, if you want to become a member of my YouTube channel, just go ahead onto my main page, hit that join screen. Super easy, guys. Once you do that, there's 3 separate tiers, and as low as 99 cents, it will get you early access to my videos. You'll get stickers on your comments. You'll get monthly badges to flex how long you've been a member of Comic Book Corner 2.0 for. Guys, it's much appreciated. And of course, like I said, subscribe, because it looks like 35% of you guys that watch my channel are not subscribed. So super easy, and of course it's much appreciated. All right, so let's get to this San Diego Comic-Con news, guys. Now, I don't always report everything from San Diego Comic-Con, but the thing is there's certain things that excite me, and there's going to be 2 of them. One, of course, is Spider-Man, so we'll save that news for later. But the first thing is West Coast Avengers, okay? Now, as a kid, I read the West Coast Avengers run a long time ago. Probably haven't read it in so long. I don't even know who all the people were or the characters were on the roster. But I remember there was like Iron Man, War Machine, like Mockingbird, Hawkeye. Was it Tigra? Was Moon Knight on that team? Like, I don't even know. But nevertheless, it's a classic series. And I always thought to myself, why have they not brought back this series one way or another? Now, they did do it once with Kelly Thompson, and that series was completely different than anything that we've read from West Coast Avengers. It wasn't horrible, wasn't bad, it was just completely different. You had Kate Bishop on the team on there. I think you got introduced to Jeff the Land Shark, right? So there was some good elements to it, but it's just still completely opposite from what we've read in the past. So with the West Coast Avengers here, our creative team that's writing this one is Jerry Duggan and Danny Kim, who does the artwork. Now, when it comes to Jerry Duggan writing this book, I'm actually happy about it because he wrote Iron Man, and I thought his Iron Man book was better than his X-Men book. And I felt he did the character some justice. So now he's doing another team book, no longer X-Men, and I feel like kind of like the weight is lifted off his shoulders a little bit, because when you have X-Men, you have this high expectations to be this great grand book, and I felt like it was wearing down on him. Now when it comes to like West Coast Avengers, right, I feel like he's like, okay, I can have some fun here, I can play around with these characters, and I think this is going to be great. Danny Kim's artwork's fine for it, and again, I'm excited for the creative team. So now let's go and talk about the actual characters that are going to be in this book, okay? So we have Iron Man and War Machine, all right? So here's the description that it brings. Ultron returns redeemed. Iron Man and War Machine have put together a new team of Avengers, one that includes villains seeking a path to redemption. Their case study, Ultron, who against all odds seem to be walking the straight and narrow for now. But does the success of one guarantee the success of all? So it means that it looks like they're trying to actually bring back villains or reform these villains and making them a team. So there'll be a spin-off book off of this, and maybe War Machine actually handles these characters, or are you going to see a different villain every time? I don't know. But right now, the first character is going to be Ultron. And we're going to talk about him first here, because when was the last time we've seen Ultron in a Marvel comic? I think it's been quite a while. If you remember, let me know in the comments below. But the last major story that I felt he was in was Age of Ultron. And I remember reading that book, and I was like beside myself. Like, you could literally see my body leave myself and trying to talk to itself, figuring out what was going on in that comic, because it became a jumbled up mess. Wasn't a bad story. It just was a lot, right? And I thought the story was actually really good. So I don't know where he's been, so he's part of this book. Now let's go into the other characters in here, right? So looks like we have Firestar, which I think is really cool because she was actually in Jerry Duggan's X-Men, but then she kind of fell off the face of the earth and you really didn't see her anymore. So I thought adding her to this group is kind of cool. I definitely want to know why she's a part of this group, right? And she is one of my favorite characters of all time. She is my first like superhero crushes, right? Because when I was a kid and read and watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, you know, it was cool seeing her be the girl, the two guys, and the two guys fight over her. And I was like, yeah, redhead, nice. You know, she was just fun character, right? And then the other character that we have in here is Spider-Woman, who series is about to end, and she's currently in the West Coast. So she went to the West Coast to get answers about what happened to her son. So it makes sense that she's kind of already in the West Coast and she's going to be joining this team. Now, War Machine and Iron Man are kind of like, I would think, the leaders of this group. And when it comes to War Machine, he's hinted in the Iron Man comics that he's bringing people together, right? So I was like, okay. Now, you always think, you know, they're going to the West Coast, but are they going to actually pull the trigger on a West Coast comic book? Well, they're finally doing it, and I can say that everything about this sounds really cool. It sounds fun. It's different, and I'm excited for it. All right, so now let's go on to the Spider-Man news, okay? So we all wondered what the 8 deaths of Spider-Man is, right? And now we kind of get that information from San Diego Comic-Con, and this really almost leads me to believe that once this whole Doctor Doom event is over, which was also announced, I feel like we're going to get a new creative team on Spider-Man, okay? So here is the description when it comes to Spider-Man. As Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Doom grants Spider-Man 8 extra lives to serve a higher purpose in this new amazing Spider-Man story. The 8 deaths of Spider-Man begin. The world has changed. Doctor Doom is Sorcerer Supreme. How excited is that? Like, this seems to be an exciting event because you got a major player here like Doctor Doom being a villain. I think that's awesome, and he's the Sorcerer Supreme, but he has no plans to spend his time like his predecessor. Each year, Doctor Strange would use every ounce of his power and experience to save the world from an evil god and his scions. This year, Doom is delegating this task to Spider-Man. The leader of Latveria has given the Spider-Man a new magic-powered suit and 8 extra lives, which it's a video game, to save the world. True believer, there won't be enough. I think this is going to be fun. I think this is something that Spider-Man fans have been jonesing for. Just a fun Spider-Man book. Don't take it too seriously, guys. Right? This could be a good little time right here, okay? So here we got the main cover that I'm showing you with Doctor Doom looming over Spider-Man here, swinging through the city, right? And so this one does go on sale on November 13th. The other West Coast Avengers book goes on sale in November as well. And then we have this other cover here where we have Spider-Man who's like silver and he's got the Doctor Strange cape on, right? And then he's got like this green spider emblem. This represents issue 62, which goes on sale 11/27. And then you have this this variant cover that kind of showcases a sketch variant of what like Doctor Strange Spider-Man is, right? And it looks like he's got a gem count on his chest and an angular doom eye. It doesn't go into too much detail, and a Kirby-style doom hands. So, listen, like I said before, there's not a ton of stuff here on what this story is about, but at least you know what it is now, right? And based off of the little bit that I did read, I am excited for it, and it's something different. and maybe it's a palate cleanser before we get into the new run of Amazing Spider-Man. And yeah, so those are some two announcements that I kind of want to highlight so far this weekend. I want to know in the comments below, are you excited for any of these? Are you rolling your eyes when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man? Do you not care about the West Coast Avengers? Are you just done with Marvel? If you are, guys, listen, I truly understand it. This is a hobby of opinions, and you have yours, I have mine, but I'm excited about this. So again, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and here are more things for you to watch. And of course, guys, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read your comics. And guys, have a great weekend.